Welcome Home Choice World History students to fall 2020, and currently we are on distance learning, so I'm unable to meet with you guys for office hours. Hopefully this video is going to take you through everything that you need for this class, but feel free if something is unclear to email me at rshort@guhsd.net, which will be on the syllabus that I show you on the screen in just a minute. And also, you're welcome also to contact the Home Choice office, and then they can get a hold of me if for some reason you are struggling. All right, you guys, so this is the syllabus. It's also going to be on my webpage, but let me just take you through some basics of what world history at Home Choice is going to look like. So, every day you're expected to spend about 55 minutes working on world history, just like you would if you were in school. So you want to make sure to get a calendar out and schedule when you're going to do your history. Students are going to meet with me during office hours via Zoom, you can see here, and then you get points for participation at that Zoom meeting. So if any kind of emergency occurs and you can't make it to your scheduled time, you should hopefully let me know ahead of time that you're not going to make it, and then we can make alternative arrangements. But if you do not make that Zoom meeting up, you are going to lose your participation points. So you need to make sure that you do not miss your Zoom meetings. Most of the participation points are really easy to get. There are a couple that make it a little harder, and there's a rubric for how I'm going to score you on the first week's worth of work. So I'll show that to you. Additionally, your parent or guardian should be reviewing all of your work prior to turning it in. They don't have to grade it, they just have to make sure it looks good, it's complete. And if necessary, if work is not up to what it should be, or if a parent at any time wants to, they're welcome to attend the Zoom meetings with you. You're going to be turning in your work to 2 different places, possibly. Some items will just get turned into Google Classroom, and that's where you're going to find most of your grades, and that's where you'll find the assignments located. But a lot of the work I'm going to ask you to turn into Turnitin.com. This allows me to check for plagiarism, so please be very careful that everything that you do is your own work and that you're not copying anything from a textbook or off the internet, because it'll catch it, and then you're not going to get any work, any points for that work. So some of the writing assignments or some of the worksheets will be turned into Turnitin.com. If it doesn't get turned into Turnitin.com and you turn it into Google Classroom, if I requested that it was turned into Turnitin.com, then you're not going to get any points for it until you do. You're going to be required to log into Google Classroom at a specific time to take your exams. So I will have a testing time, and you guys should be ready to take your test during that time. If for some reason you have a conflict, I need you to let me know ahead of time, and you're going to have a specified amount of time, most likely 1 hour to complete your test, and then you will turn that test into Turnitin.com as well. When we move from level 1, which is where we're at full distance learning, to level 2, which allows for students to come to school once a week, at that point you will be able to take your test at the Home Choice office, and so those no longer will I send them out through Google Classroom. All right, so all work shall be due by Friday at 3:30 p.m. So you don't want to have any late work. Late work can lose points. Technically, I don't accept late work. In the first couple weeks, if we have problems, I'll make some adjustments just as you guys are getting used to it. But after that, late work is a big no-no, and you will lose points. So you can see here semester 1 and semester 2, these are the areas and the topics that we're going to be covering. Okay, so let's go through the nitty-gritty of how this class is going to proceed, and then how you will access your work, and then how you will turn it in. So first of all, let's look at grades. So the grading is going to be straight points. So when you get an assignment, you look at the point total, that value is how much it's going to impact your grade. So just be aware that about every week you're going to have about 70 to 90 points of work, and additionally you will have a test every 3 weeks approximately with about 90 points as well. And Google Classroom will have your work posted for you. It'll have directions on what you need to do, and it also has your grades updated as work is graded. So the most complicated thing for you as a student is going to be trying to figure out where you need to turn in your work. Many assignments will be submitted directly to Google Classroom, but there are a few assignments that are going to need to be turned in to what's called turnitin.com. And you're going to sign up for this website, and then you will turn work into this website and it'll check for plagiarism. So you really want to be careful. Anything that you turn in that website can't have anything copied off the internet, can't have anything copied and pasted from a friend, because if they turn it in and you turn it in, then they're both going to come back as plagiarized. So again, it really should encourage you to do your own work. All work is going to be due by Friday at 3:30 p.m. unless otherwise indicated on an assignment sheet. So the first step to getting started with this class is to enroll in Google Classroom. You will go to googleclassroom.com and you're going to type in this code. So that code will add you to the class, and that will give you all the access you're going to need to be able to get to your content and to be able to turn in work to Google Classroom and to be able to see your grades. The other site that you're going to have to set up an account with is turnitin.com. So you're going to go to turnitin.com and you're going to add a class. This is your class ID, 255-90247, and your enrollment key is lowercase world history, all one word. So once you've signed up for those two things, then in a minute I'm going to show you what a week assignment sheet would look like and how you would know where to turn in which things. The other thing that's really important for this class, and you'll receive points for, is office hours. Now, right now, because we're on full distance learning, we're going to have to do our office hours via Zoom. And I want to be honoring your time and not having you wait around in the waiting room of Zoom office hours for someone else to finish talking with me. So what I would like to do is schedule you in 10-minute increments between 2:30 and 3:30. So what you will do in order to have that happen is once you are in Google Classroom, you're going to have access to this syllabus with the active links. So you're going to click on where it says Zoom office hours sign up. You're going to select one of the times that still is available, and that will become your time where you'll always show up at Zoom office hours, and I will make sure and honor that by letting you write in. Additionally, the link right here below is going to be the link that you will use every single time. It's a reoccurring link, so you can use it at any time. So if sometimes you email me and you have a question and I say, hey, let's go to Zoom really quick and let me talk you through it, you would click on this link. And again, it will be on Google Classroom and active. If you want to know how you're going to be graded for your Zoom office hour attendance, your rubric is right here, and you can click on that in Google Classroom. Late work's not going to be accepted, so you need to make sure to get your work turned in on time. And then if you have any questions, if you're absent or you're sick, obviously in distance learning, I wouldn't know that. So communication is key. Please let me know and I will extend your time so that you can get your work caught up. Next, you'll see here that you will be going to the Home Choice office to pick up a textbook. Now, most of what we're going to be doing is on Google Classroom and online, but oftentimes I'll have you reading out of the Modern World History textbook that you will pick up from Jake at the Home Choice office. So just make sure you get that book. If for any reason your student or you are struggling with some of the online work, I can't make it all paper, but there are a lot of things that we could switch to handwritten and paper. So please communicate with me, and then we'll find a way for Jake to get you some hard copies of some of the assignments. Some of the materials you as a student will need is you're going to need your district laptop. You want to make sure to always sign in and be working in Google Classroom using your Gmail account through GUHSD. A lot of times my documents are not accessible to people outside of the GUHSD system. So if you're on your private email and you're trying to get into a document, it may very well tell you that you don't have access because you're outside of GUHSD. So just make sure you're always logged into your school account when doing your work. And again, most work will be turned in online, and I said that you could request hard copies of some of the things. Not everything can be done on paper, but much of it can. So expectations, turn work on time into the correct location. That's going to be key. come to the Zoom meetings ready to discuss your work, and then just do your best and don't copy off of someone else. My contact information is down here. I would really say during this time period, the phone number is going to not work. That is my school phone number. In fact, I was in my room today for a few minutes. It is not even plugged in. So you're going to have to email me to contact me, and then we can set up a Zoom time if appropriate. All right, so when you go to Google Classroom, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to say Home Choice World History Fall 2020, and across the top you're going to have some options. You'll have Stream, Classwork, People, Grades. I don't even know if you have People, but you'll have Classwork and Grades. People might just be a teacher thing. So what I want you to do though is, because whenever I put something on, and I'm going to be adding weeks as the weeks go on, the Stream is not the easiest place to find things, because the Stream is just whatever I put on most recently. It might not be what you're supposed to be working on right now. So I think the best thing to do is go to Classwork and click on that, and then what you'll see is things in order of the way that I want you to work on them. So you've got your syllabus here with the welcome video. Those would be the first two things you would look at. And then you've got week 1, you've got the schedule of assignments, which is like the cover page of what you're supposed to be doing. It almost could be a checklist for you if you want to print it off so that you can check things off as you go. Then you'll have, if there is a video to watch that's on YouTube and I want to make sure it's like a lecture I recorded, I want to make sure you watch it. There's some questions involved. You will be watching it through Edpuzzle. So if you click on here, it's going to take you to the Edpuzzle link, and then it's going to have you watch it. Sometimes there will be questions embedded in the video, so as you watch it, it'll make you answer questions, and then that's how I'll assess you and give you points for this assignment. So if you can kind of see, it'll say, yours might be a little different here, but I would, when you're finished, I'll be able to see that you finished it and turned it in. So if we go back then to our Classwork Stream, you're going to see then here is the work for the week that needs to be turned in. So it says here, it gives you directions. It says only turn in storyboard here, turn in paragraph to turnin.com. And then I remind you of what the class ID and the enrollment key is for that. So there's this week 1, semester 1 paragraph. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to get turned into turnitin.com here. This activity is going, it's called Gunpowder Storyboard. It's going to get turned in here to Google Classroom. Now, how would you know all of this? Well, if you click on the schedule, you're going to see here all the details that you'll need to know. So this is really what I like to work off of. So it says that your storyboard for week 1 is going to get submitted to Google Classroom. Your Edpuzzle video that you're going to be watching about the Ottomans and the Venetians, it's worth 15 points. You watch it through Edpuzzle, and I get a record that you've watched it, and I can give you points for that. Your paragraph that you're going to be writing is going to, the worksheet is here, but it was also attached in that other spot. You can either way, what you're going to have to do is make a copy of it. So you open something up, it's going to say you don't have editing privileges. You're going to say, yes, I know that. And you're going to go up to the top and say File, Make a Copy, and make a copy. You'll notice that I'm not asking you to learn to write paragraphs the way I want you to on your own. There's actually a video where I give you help embedded in this. So you watch the video first, and then you go ahead and you complete the paragraph and follow the directions. When you're done with that paragraph, you're going to turn it into turnitin.com, and you can see it says that over here, and it even gives you the title, because there are multiple assignments on turnitin.com. So you need to click on the assignment, which is week 1 paragraph, and then you're going to upload your document that you wrote your paragraph on. The last thing that's here is the Zoom meeting rubric. I will give you 10 points for showing up to your Zoom meeting and being interactive and discussing what you've been learning and asking questions. And if you do that, then you're going to get the 10 points. If you come and you won't talk and you don't have anything to say, and when I ask you a question, you don't know anything about what you were supposed to be working on, then you're not going to get full points. Realize that I'm meeting with you on Thursday. Everything is due on Friday, so that is definitely a chance for you to go over anything. Show me what you've done so far. Ask me if you're going to get full credit. Let me give you a chance to, let me give you some feedback as to anything you can improve. So I think that this is probably all we need to know right now. If you have additional questions, feel free again to email me